Hurricane Idalia. Update in 3, 2, 1. What's up, advocates? Welcome back to another episode of the Commercial Claims Show. My name is Vince Perri, your host. I'm owner, CEO of Elite Resolutions and Commercial Claims Advocate. Elite Resolutions is a public adjusting firm, while CCA is a consulting firm to help you public adjusters throughout the country elevate yourself, elevate your career, and take it to the next level. Let's talk about Hurricane Idalia. I wanted to give you guys an update on that, let you guys know sort of what we found as a public adjusting firm when we went up there. Last week, the storm, 2 weeks ago, the storm hit, and it was a pretty significant storm. It made landfall as a Category 4. It went through the northern part. It's called the Big Bend or something like that of Florida, and it really just went straight across Florida and into Georgia and into South Carolina as well, and actually stayed a Hurricane 1 for quite a while. The surprising thing I would say about this storm is as we were driving up, it actually greatly affected the area where I live. I live in the Tampa area. I live in actually a little small town called Lutz, Florida. So we're a little inland, so we were not affected at all, me personally, my house, my family. However, the coast, even though the storm was miles away of any kind of direct impact, obviously there was a surge that was created from the wind speeds, and there was actually significant flooding in St. Petersburg, in Clearwater, Brooksville, in Spring Hill, not Brooksville, St. Petersburg, Clearwater, Newport Richey, Tarpon Springs, Palm Harbor. If you look at the map all the way up that coast, it was greatly affected. So we started when we drove up, we went to St. Pete. So we actually drove down and went to St. Pete and then took ourselves all the way up, and many hundreds of houses with a significant amount of furniture outside. So I was with one of our guys, with Adrian. He's one of our top adjusters at Elite Resolutions, and we were door knocking. It was kind of fun for me, and by fun, this is always a touchy subject, right? I think mostly public adjusters are going to be watching this, so they'll understand. But it's kind of nostalgic for me because I hadn't really done a lot of door knocking, frankly, since Hurricane Wilma a very long time ago, showing my age. And we're going around really getting some information, and people were greatly affected. It was all flood damage in St. Pete where we were, and again, they were greatly affected. So if you're a PA looking for work or anything like that, it's a great place to go. The issue you're going to have is we were late, right? If you're ever, as a public adjuster, if you're going to go out there and you're going to try to sign up claims after a significant storm, my recommendation is you're out there immediately, if not the day before, so you're already out there. Now, I believe depending on the state, there's a window that you have to wait. You can't go solicit immediately after, but it's better to already be on the ground to just get a lay of the land, because that's the other issue that I'm going to say. When you go out and you chase a storm, you should have an idea of where you're going to go. Like, try to Google Earth and find some significant damage and find some significant, I think, hail trace as well. Good friends of mine over there, where they could pinpoint exactly where the storm hit and provide contact information as well. So shout out to you, Hail Trace, great app that we have used for many years at Elite Resolutions. I would suggest you just get a lay of the land and have an idea of what you're going to do beforehand. So we hit St. Pete, we door knocked a few people. We didn't sign any claims because, again, we felt we were a little late in regard. All the claims process was moving. As you guys know, the way FEMA works is just they go in, they write it up, and they make a payment rather significantly. And what we've noticed with FEMA is the dispute process could be a little bit complicated, and it's sometimes a little bit more difficult than you want it to. So as a public adjuster, a lot of times it's easier just to make sure that you're out there from the beginning, documenting, making sure you're gathering all the evidence to present to FEMA the correct way to maximize your claim from the beginning. So if you're a policyholder, this is what you need to understand. The benefits of hiring a public adjuster from the beginning of the process is, frankly, the initial part is just the stress that you're going through, right? Public adjuster is going to be able to recommend to you a good mitigation company to properly dry out. We're going to be able to recommend to you a good contents company to pack up everything that needs to be packed up. We're going to recommend a good tree. So, like, we have connections all over the place because that's who we network with. So we take away that burden away from you having to make those decisions. And then we're going to document and we're going to estimate the claim accurately from the beginning so that when we provide that to the FEMA adjuster, it's already there for them. And in case they miss anything, we'll make sure that it's there. So we're going to maximize your flood claim if we're there from the beginning. If we're not there from the beginning and a payment's already made, the dispute process for flood, for FEMA, for flood, is very difficult and a lot of times goes nowhere. So that's my advice for policyholders. So then from there, we went all the way up. We went We didn't hit much because obviously it was a pretty long drive, but we ended up we did go to Crystal River, did not find much in Crystal River. So I think the issue that we were dealing with in the Bend was very spread out, right? It was very, very, very spread out. And there just wasn't many houses. There just were not many houses, which is a great thing when it comes to the actual health of the people who had to live through this storm and ride this storm out. What we found, and by what we found, I mean, we did Crystal River, we did we did do Cedar Key, we did do Perri, Florida, which is where a lot of the significant damage was. If you're struggling and waiting forever and a day to get paid on your claims because you have to wait for the mortgage company, you have to wait for the client, you have to wait for all of these things, Ink Payments by Ink solves that for you. By simply uploading it onto their system, everything gets processed and you get directly deposited your fee into your bank account. Choose InkPay and make sure that you use the promo code VINCE so that you can get $299 off the initial registration fee. So go ahead and check it out, Ink Payments. We've been using it for a long time. Everybody needs an attorney on their side. So whether you're a public adjuster, a contractor, or anyone else in the insurance claims business, make sure that you have an attorney that you could rely on, that you can go to for questions whenever you need it. That guy for me for the last 12 years has been David Farber. David Farber is the owner of the Farber Law Firm, and he has been there for me from the beginning of my career until now. And I would love for him to be able to help you as well. So make sure you call him at this number here and visit his website so you can learn more about the amazing David Farber of the Farber Law Firm. To be honest, I would say the good news was we didn't feel like it was that impactful of a storm. Houses and buildings are very spread out. There's a lot of trees everywhere. So a lot of trees that fell down just fell on nothing. And I don't have the exact numbers of how many people were killed as a result of this storm. One could assume it wasn't that many, but I don't know. So please don't crush me for not knowing that and for saying that. You know how social media is these days. I don't mean any harm on anybody. I'm actually grateful that we didn't find much damage. So that's a good thing. And then a lot of the damage that we did find, a lot of the homes they could be uninsured and just don't have any insurance. So it was few and far between. I would say to finish our trip, Adrian did get a good lead. He got a lead in, I believe it was Madison was the name of the town. And also, just the nicest people, super, super nice people. And a tree fell on the roof. We'll show you some photos of it right here. And it's some significant damage where not only was the carport damaged, but the metal roof was damaged, and then also created a hole in the house. And then the rain obviously caused significant damage inside, along with a lot of laminate wood floor damage, drywall damage, and all kinds of stuff. And to be quite frank, if you're a policyholder still watching this video, what we were explaining to them is, yes, there's significant damage, and yes, it's obvious, but just from looking at this, we already know what the insurance company is going to do. You see the hole, and you see some of the damage, but you can't see all the damage. So we had our mitigation experts out there, and you could see the amount of water behind these walls, the amount of water underneath the laminate floor could only really be seen with a moisture detector and with an infrared gun. When we put that moisture reader, it was reading off the charts. When we showed that infrared gun, it was just wet everywhere. But then you take it off and you don't really see the damage. So this is an issue that a lot of homeowners have where they don't hire the experts, when they just call the insurance adjuster. Insurance adjuster doesn't go out there until 4, 5, 10 days later, and everything looks fine. They don't have a moisture detector, they don't have an infrared gun, and they don't know how to actually spot the damage because, you know what, they're purposely not trained for that. We, however, were able to gather the evidence and we're presenting it to the insurance company to make sure that nothing is missed. Really, really nice people. I mean, and the good part is public adjusters, this is the beauty of it, right? So the owner of this home is a big time sales rep for Ace Hardware, which is right down the street. So imagine that. That's going to be a connection that is going to hopefully net us and get us more claims as a result of the storm. So although we kind of came back, we felt a little bit empty-handed, like we didn't do much. We did land one lead, which has already generated 2 more leads, and that's how this thing sort of goes. But the goal, the number one thing in mind, is to make sure that we service our current client and that client correctly, and then from there, with the connections that gentleman has, and again, nicest family, a newborn baby that they had to go. I mean, imagine dealing with that. They're living in a hotel because of the damage that they had to the house. But when I say just nice, kind people, the only thing I would say that Adrian wasn't very happy about, who is a Gator fan, was they were Seminole fans. I'm a fan, so I didn't care. But that was basically it. It's already turned into, like I said, 2 more claims. Adrian's actually going back later on this week to go check that out. And I also got the chance to reconnect with my good friends at Easy Dry Restoration, my friend Roman and Oz. So shout out to you guys. It was really great to see you, and looking forward to doing more work with you guys as well. If you're a public adjuster watching this show, honestly, I recommend them. Here they are, guys. These are the guys. 15 years we've known each other. 15 years. Where are you guys located? Florida?
Illinois. We're in South Florida,
Illinois, Chicago.
We're setting up in Colorado, and soon in California.
I mean, these are the guys. You don't want anybody else. This is who you want to call. You already have the website. You've got the Instagram. Contact them right now, especially if you're out here. How long are you guys going to be out here?
For about a week. Yeah.
As long as it takes.
As long as it takes.
You can go ahead and hit them up. We'll leave their contact information here. And that's pretty much it, right? So hurricane season is not over. I'd like to just close the show with just making sure that we're getting ready. Okay, so as policyholders, guys, I mean, if you live in Florida or anywhere on the coast, from Louisiana to Texas to North Carolina, South Carolina to New York, Hurricane Lee, as we speak, I think is still on the way. Make sure you at least have a copy of your policy. Call your agent and find out, hey, so my 2 favorite questions to ask when you call your agent is, what are the endorsements and exclusions on my policy that can greatly affect me? Number 2 is, what are the changes that have been made to my policy in the last year? A lot of times you don't know. Those 2 questions I need you to ask your insurance agent today. Make sure you call them today and just get an update on that. You may not be able to do anything about it, but at least you know. So get a copy of your policy, call your agent, ask them those 2 questions, and go around your house, take some photos. Take some photos. Yes, I know it sounds weird, policyholder, but do it. Just go around, take photos. Now, I guarantee you, all public adjusters watching this show will provide you the free service of going out there and doing what I like to call a pre-loss risk assessment. PAs, you can take that. A pre-loss risk assessment. So as before any kind of loss occurs, we just assess the risk, right? So take photos all the way around, since we know what we're looking for. All exterior, roof, and then interior as well. Save that to the same folder that you've got the policy, and then also try to get any kind of receipts and invoices of repairs that you've done. It just only helps, because if the insurance company goes there and they see some kind of damage, they may want to say it's pre-existing. They may want to say it's wear and tear. But if you could prove that it's not pre-existing, or you can prove that you've actually repaired it, it's really not wear and tear, now there's new damage on it, it's going to get your claim paid. So make sure that you guys do that. Public adjusters, just make sure you're ready, guys. I would recommend, when you see that storm coming, just go. Just go. And if you're going to go either the day before or the day after, no matter how strong the storm is. Now, what I will tell you is, if you go the day after, sometimes it's hard to get into these places. Well, because there's so much damage, pole lines are down and trees are down, it's hard. So I would recommend you at least go somewhere close, so that you could be there and you can be there ready. Because if you go a week later, it's not too late, because obviously we found some good claims and some good connections, but it's few and far between. But again, it also depends on the area, right? This area just seemed a little bit more vast, not really not a huge population of people and homes, which is a good thing, but it was a little bit harder so late. So, but I would just say, honestly, as public adjusters, and we can help you with this stuff, get your sales teams ready, call your clients, call your referral sources. If you need to create some landing pages and stuff like that, again, these are things that we can help you at CCA, but it's something that you need to think about to make sure that you are prepared for that storm, so that you can start actually generating some business. So that's pretty much it. That's all I got. That's my update on Hurricane Idalia. Not as much damage as we thought, which is a good thing. And quite frankly, I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, and I know public adjusters in Florida aren't going to be happy that I'm going to say this, but I am kind of hoping that we don't get a storm for a few years. It would be nice to bring this insurance market back to where it used to be. That's just my opinion that I feel like sharing with you at the end of this video, if you're still watching. Additional living expenses is one of the most difficult parts of an insurance claim. And the reason is it's very high pressure. And as a public adjuster or contractor, you're already dealing with the negotiating of the build back process. You don't want to have to deal with ALE as well. Black Diamond Housing Services does all of that. They don't even charge the client. They bill it directly to the insurance company. It's all covered under the ALE coverage. So you need to call Black Diamond if you have a house that has been severely lost, whether it's like severe mold, severe water, fire, or anything like that, where they need a place to stay. Call Black Diamond Housing Services and they'll be able to take care of your client from beginning to end. I had been looking for an accountant for years and I was unable to find anybody that I liked, that I worked with, and was able to do what I needed to be done to my taxes and to my accountant. Jeremy David at Noble Wealth has been a godsend to me, my family, and my company. We have saved so much money in taxes I can't even begin to describe, and he knows what he's doing. You need to call Jeremy at Noble Wealth and get yourself the right accountant, because he's the man who's going to help you save on taxes. Because ultimately, you don't want to be making money, especially if you're self-employed, and having it all go to the IRS. Call Jeremy, call Noble Wealth, and they will help you tremendously with the entire accounting process and your tax situation from A to Z. Guys, make sure you go to commercialclaimsadvocate.com. We've got so many things coming at you for Advocates United. By the way, Advocates United, November 15th, November 16th. It's going to be incredible. Make sure you go to the advocatesunited.net website where you could get your tickets and get VIP tickets. Forget the regular tickets. Waste of time. Get the VIP tickets so that you could be on the cruise the night before, so you could be in the cigar lounge the night of. It's going to be an amazing event, some great partners, some great speakers. We're doing it differently. It's going to be like we're doing breakouts, and then we're doing speakers, and then we're doing sofa discussions. It's going to be so much fun. I can't wait to do it. We're taking it to the next level, and we're going to provide you guys with so many crazy services, public adjusters, to scale your firms, to scale your careers, to take it to the next level. We are taking this to the next level, and I'm so excited about it, and I think you should be excited too. So thank you very much. Go to commercialclaimsadvocate.com so you can find out about some of the services, and then go on eliteresolutions.com if you're interested in coming to work for us, or if you're a policyholder watching this, if you want to file a claim with us or just get a free policy review or anything like that. We're happy to help you. I hope I wasn't talking too fast. I feel like I was talking too fast, but that doesn't matter. Thank you guys for watching. Remember, subscribe, and every single week we have a new show for you. This is Content Wednesday. I hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next week. Peace out.